we have enough time for a list. This is from...
Okay.
What is this from? From theringer.com. We've never done a list of theirs before. This list is of the 50 best bad movies.
Nice.
I'm not going to go through all 50. I'm just going to do the top 10, as usual. All right. Number 10 is Speed 2, Cruise Control, which I think is just a bad movie.
Wow. That's god-awful. Yeah. Like, oof,
yeah. I mean, is there any level of fun in that movie at all? I mean, I have to say I haven't seen it, but is it fun to make fun of at least? Because that's what we're talking about.
No, it's not even so bad that it's fun. It's just it's so long, and it's a boat going very slow, and it's like they call it Speed 2. It's just terrible. Like it reminds me of like what was the problem with Mad Max Thunderdome? It's like, hey, let's take everything we like about Mad Max, let's take away his cars, and let's have him adopt like a whole shit ton of kids. Like,
that's what everybody goes to Mad Max for. Yeah.
Like let's take a huge race in speed and let's put him on a really slow boat.
Yeah, where they're in water and you can't really tell how fast they're going anyway. If they were going 500 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, it'd look the same.
Yeah, it's an utterly forgettable movie, except you just want your time back.
Yeah. And plus, it's there's no Keanu Reeves. Who's the villain in it?
Defoe.
Defoe. That's
Defoe.
Right.
Okay, so.
It has some elements. It has some elements that might make it a good bad movie, because Defoe is a villain that I think he's going to die soon. He's got copper poisoning or something, and so throughout the movie he puts these leeches on his body to suck out the copper from his blood.
Oh my God!
It is a lot more entertaining to describe the movie than it is to watch it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, number 9 is. Well, this is debatable. It's Over the Top. Definitely a terrible movie. Stallone.
It is. I would throw that in there. I think. I mean, the Cobra is better. You know.
Yes.
Cobra really deserves to be in the top 10 over that. I think because
Cobra
is just absolute fun.
Yes.
It is fun to watch it and to just get humor from its ridiculousness. But Over the Top, you know, it's Over the Top has a sentimental quality to it too that kind of tamps down that kind of stuff sometimes. But
right. And that makes it even more of an embarrassment. And the child performance is truly one of the worst child performances ever.
Oh my God, I forgot about that awful kid. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is terrible. It's higher than 9.
Yeah.
Stallone being parental.
No, but you know, there are some days when I think Cobra is the best movie ever made. I'm like, I watch Cobra and I'm like, you know, you don't get this shit in a David Lean movie. I mean, he could not pull this off.
So I just have to say, is Stop or My Mom Will Shoot worse than Over the Top? Or like, seriously, like, I don't know. Is that the worst? Is that the worst Stallone film they could have put in this?
Or Rhinestone.
I'm sorry, I like Rhinestone.
You like it?
He has
you like it on the same level as that other one. No.
Yeah. I don't like it as great art, Dean. I just have real enjoyment watching it.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, Stallone and Dolly Parton, like, it's like a train wreck. You have to watch it.
Yeah, just to see how it turns out. Yeah. I think it's less insistent with that feeling is less insistent with Stop and My Mom Will Shoot, with the pairing of Stallone and Estelle Getty. I think that.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But
I think also, I mean, that kind of the differences between the tough guy and the mother that chews him out. I mean, that's kind of typical comedy dynamics.
Yeah.
But the plot of Over the Top, going to make it big and buy a new rig and a better life for his son, with an arm wrestling competition in Vegas or wherever it is, I mean, that's kind of delicious too.
Yeah, because I mean, how cinematic is an arm wrestling match, really?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 8 is Final Destination, the first one from 2000.
See, now I think that's an okay movie. I think that's I think it's inventive. I would put that on the level of like a high level B movie. Of just it's I mean you can make fun of it, yeah, but it the whole series kind of distinguishes itself with its cleverness, because what we're going to see in Final Destination is the sort of Rube Goldberg type of ways of people dying, things, Rube Goldberg kind of things that lead to people's, violent deaths. And and on that level, it delivers. So.
Yeah, I have to agree. I don't think it belongs on this list because I think they went out of their way to make something that, like, I didn't see it in the theater when it came out, but a friend cornered me and, like, said, okay, we're going to watch this. And I laughed my ass off. Like, and that was the whole point. Like, he wanted me to watch this, and it could be a drinking game. It's a funny movie, and it knows it's being funny. So
it is. It does. It has a knowing quality about it. So that's a big difference.
Yeah. By the way, in this list, you'll think that this is one of those lists where this person never saw a movie prior to 1980 something. But
oh God.
In the top 10 of this list. But if you go further into the list, there are older movies that are represented here, just not in the top 10.
Okay.
His number 7 is actually, alongside Cobra would be my number 2 pick for the best bad movie, and that is Anaconda.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. It's got a really fun performance from Jon Voight in it. It's another like high level B movie. I think that
Ice Cube is in that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah, I don't remember actually seeing this film. Like, I don't think I.
Oh, you need to see it. Oh, you got to see it. But it is. There's elements of it that are undeniably awful and ridiculous and silly and laughable, and it is kind of debatable whether the filmmaker knows this. But I know for a fact that Jon Voight knew it, and that is one of the great scenery chewing performances of the past 20 years. He is a revelation. I'm serious. It's like you have Olivier giving the performance of his life.
I might watch it just for that because I could use a Jon Voight laugh. I don't know who couldn't.
Oh God, he's good at it. He's so good at it. And
it's
when
got
we
a
had,
pretty.
It's got an A-list cast.
It does. I mean, it's got Eric Stoltz and Owen Wilson. Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was interviewing somebody that worked. I was interviewing somebody that worked on the production of that, and we were talking Adam Fickman, the guy that made all those Disney movies with The Rock, and so he was coming on to talk about a movie he just made with The Rock, and I said, we're going to get to The Rock, but I got to know. Tell me a Jon Voight story from Anaconda. And he was like, you would not believe the number of people that asked me about Anaconda. And he said Jon Voight was amazing. Like, we are all amazed by Jon Voight in that movie. So it's a great fun.
It's a worthwhile movie. It's worthwhile on that level. So. Okay.
The rest of the list is not as good as Anaconda and Over the Top. Their number 6 is White Chicks, which I have not seen. The
painful. Hard to look at those characters, because they have to go overboard with the makeup, to make it.
Yeah, they look like
believable.
Iggy Azalea.
Right? Yeah, and they don't look like humans, so it's really hard to buy. But I suppose if you kind of get into that wheelhouse there just a little bit, maybe but I find it just difficult to look at.
I never watched it. I recall. I thought I recall that film being a complete flop, wasn't it? Or am I remembering incorrectly? Like I thought that just tanked. I thought that did.
Oh, it did. Oh yeah.
Big
for
time.
a while. Okay.
Number 5. Joel Schumacher has apologized for this film, Batman and Robin. Is there any delight in this film?
There's no delight in this. There's no.
This was nipples on the Batsuit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you have it. That was the whole point in the film. Fantastic.
Has anybody ever gotten raked over the coals over two little pieces of rubber like Joel Schumacher has? Was he just left those little 2 pieces out? It'd be great, but no. I mean, there's. I don't think there's any fun in it really. I'm sorry to say. It's just.
And by the way, Joel Schumacher is a great guy. He's a very endearing guy, and he will. He says, "Look, I take full responsibility for it, for my 2 Batman movies, and a lot of people like Batman Forever." But he says, look, it is the direction the studio wanted to go. He said, I wanted to go darker, and they were ready to go, art pop, deco, kind of popping colors and cheesy, and so I just followed their dictate.
It's another, also, the villains, Schwarzenegger is that villain. It's just so plotting, and I went to it excited because Alicia Silverstone was playing Batgirl, and they just did nothing with her, and so it was radical.
And that was the time I was still fully in love with Uma Thurman, and I was just like, huh. Did you look at that?
Yeah, she didn't make an impression at all.
Another bad
Uma Thurman, who is, out of everything that Ethan Hawke's done, Uma Thurman's probably the best. Don't you think?
I think so. Oh,
He's Born to Be Blue does not compare to Okay, number 4, 1987, Golden Globus, which also over the top is Golden Globus. They signed Stallone to this, multi-year $50 million contract or something. He was their man at that time, but this isn't a Stallone movie. Number 4 is Masters of the Universe, Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, wow.
Never seen it. Never seen even a second of it.
I think I saw it once, and it was god awful. It definitely that deserves to be here. But I don't remember anything from it.
I don't remember much of it either. Here's what they have to say about it. This 1987 adaptation of a Mattel toy line has everything a good bad movie needs. Dolph Lundgren, a villainous turn by a future Oscar-nominated actor. Who was the villain in who was
the villain in that?
Skeletor.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah. An utter lack of budget, an astonishing amount of terrible special effects, and an ability to truly make you question how the movie was ever greenlit. From conception to execution, everything seems like an unmitigated mistake. Taken as a whole, though, it's just a remarkable thing to behold.
Okay.
Number 3 is this the only movie that Frank Marshall directed, Congo, 1995?
Oh, my God.
Oh, Laura Linney. Yes, it belongs on
your favorite.
I think this was around the time I started hating Laura Linney, so this is perfect.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Another one I've never seen. So.
Oh, my God. It's so I used to love reading Michael Crichton books, and let's just say the movie, and they're cheesy. I get it; they are cheesy, but maybe you couldn't make Congo into a movie because obviously they didn't. but yeah, it's horrid. It's painful to watch, and it's trying so hard to be like Spielberg-esque in many ways, But
right.
I guess if you,
which you understand.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank Marshall came from that school. You know, he
Right,
produced
right.
for Spielberg forever. You know?
Yeah. So it totally made sense they were trying to do that. But I guess the only thing I really remember, like, watching monkeys being cut in half with laser beams, things like that, that was pretty entertaining in a very weird sort of way. But, yeah, the tone was all over the place on that film.
Yeah. Number 2. Man, I remember seeing this my first trip to L.A. Wild Wild West, Barry Sonnenfeld. One of the infamous disasters of the past 25 years, 26 years. However long it's been.
That's on, I've never seen that either, and it's on Amazon Prime. And I was thinking about checking it out. Just, is there anything fun about it?
It has some funny parts in it, but very kind of sly, funny parts. Like there's a single shot of a little dog who sticks his head in a like a gramophone record player, and it looks just like the RCA logo. I mean, there's like little bitty clever Sonnenfeld things in that movie because he's a funny guy. But the movie's a misfire, and Sonnenfeld actually talked about why it's a misfire. First of all, it's a misfire, I think, because it was overproduced, because the producer, Peters, really stuck his nose in every creative decision and forced some things into the story that probably didn't belong there. But secondly, as Sonnenfeld put it, you had 2 people in the movie that wanted to play the funny man. And usually it works that there's a funny person and then there's the serious foil. But both Kevin Kline and Will Smith wanted to be the funny men. And so they canceled each other out. It just did not work. That was Sonnenfeld's reasoning.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and look at it. I'm a little trepidatious. I've never been a huge fan of the TV show, to be frank about it. So, the TV show always kind of gave me a headache. But maybe I can always cut it off. It's free. I'll sit and watch 5 minutes of anything.
Why do I always feel like if John Peters gets too involved in something, it goes off the rails? I don't know. I feel like I've heard so many stories about when John Peters like really jumps in and starts to rework the screenplay and forces people. Like you get these amazing like abortion films.
Well, could it have anything? Could it have anything to do with the fact that he was a hairdresser before he became a producer? He just got the producing job because Barbara Streisand liked him, and so he doesn't have any. He doesn't have his roots in any kind of thing that's really creative. If he's gotten any, if there might be some creativity that's rubbed off on him somehow, but that's not a recipe for success.
Well, he knows how to recolor those roots anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, they're number 1. I don't think has really any merit as a bad movie, good movie, or otherwise, is Godzilla, the Emmerich Godzilla.
Oh, come on. That's a bore. I don't know. It doesn't feel like they put a lot of work into this list.
Yeah.
It's kind of lazy. But, I mean, I know there's older titles on there, but, I mean, certainly, how could you not have, Plan 9 as number 1? It's like the Citizen Kane of bad movies. And I don't think anything's really... The closest thing that's really come to unseating it would be something like The Room or Showgirls, both of which are so bad that they've come around to being great. Or
something like Neil LaBute's The Wicker Man, which he and Nicolas Cage still defend that. Yeah.
Exactly. Another great.
I mean, like you can't make a list like this and ignore the genius career of Gary Busey. I mean, come on, he's been working.
Yeah, where's Bulletproof or whatever? I mean, of course, I just finished writing about fooling around.
Exactly.
Which is
that's why he comes to mind, because I remember loving him so much in that era, and then I was stunned at how much work he's actually had since then. And it's just like, these are terrible movies he's been making.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back, guys. This guy does not have any movies prior to 1986 in it. The whole 50 is, yeah.
So no robot monster, you don't have you don't have the apple, which would obviously deserves to be in there. You don't have, here's two of my personal favorites, The Incredible Melting Man from 77, and also I think maybe from 78 is Laser Blast, which I know has been done by MST3K, so that's at least gotten some traction in that world. Like many of those movies, like Mitchell and so forth, have. And for more 80s or 90s movie, maybe something like Super Mario Brothers, which is...
Right. How about Andy Warhol's Bad that was trying to be bad? And I kind of have a soft spot for that film. Like, I will watch it, but it's not a good movie. It's terrible. Yeah.
Or Trash, even, too.
Exactly.
Another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, so those would be smart.
They don't even have... They don't even have Birdemic on this list. I mean, what kind of bullshit list is this?
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, I was watching a little bit of both the Birdemic and The Room just the other day because I was just trying to familiarize person I was watching with because the Disaster Artist is coming out, and I wanted him to see a little bit of The Room, and. Boy, when you talk about those two movies, and Troll 2, by the way,
right?
When you talk about those two movies, though, that particularly Birdemic, I was watching that movie and I was like, I can't believe they just have done everything wrong. Like every single thing that they could do is wrong, and I'm like, is this on purpose? This has to be on purpose. Nobody can make this many mistakes in a movie. It has to be done as some kind of performance art kind of thing to show you when things are wrong in a movie, you will notice. And you think you don't know anything about movies, but you do. I'm talking about the average person now. You do. And Birdemic reminds you, or The Room, both remind you of like, wow, even the worst movies that came out from the studios are sort of light years ahead of these, just in terms of them being able to do the most basic things correctly. And, so they're fascinating movies to watch. Bad movies are fascinating to watch in that they teach you something about what not to do, obviously.
Yeah,
and
I mean, when I managed a video store, I used to take home bad movies because I wanted to see what would I do to make this a good film, and it was kind of like that was my film school, and it was.
Well, and especially in the horror genre, where they had to come up with a new teenage horror flick every weekend. That genre is rife with disposable fun stuff, but with Tommy Wiseau, I see Tommy Wiseau, and I see a man under intense internal conflict, because I really do believe he thought he made a masterpiece, and then he somehow has had to come to terms with the fact that this movie makes people laugh because of how bad it is, and if he wants to be involved in that kind of revolution that his movie started, he has to kind of begrudgingly accept that fact.
I'm not sure that he has. I mean, has he come out and said that he meant to make it like that? That it's that it was meant as a comedy?
No, but he does have screenings, and he does appreciate the audience's love. He does express appreciation for it, but there's this side of him that still feels like he made a masterpiece. He knows the reality of it. But that's at odds with his motivations. It's a kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, well, that'll make the Franco movie interesting too, I think, for them to explore that. So,
all right.
Okay.
So we started with two great actors, and we end with one of the worst movies ever made. That's what I call a show.
Yes,
that's covering the full spectrum right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Dallas, my friend, thank you so much for supporting the show and for being such a great contributor to this episode. Thank you.
Oh, God, thank you guys for having me. Seriously, it's truly an honor, and I've had a great time just talking to you guys. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you chiming in all the time too, and giving us the enthusiasm. It's really heartening. It's good to hear. Yeah. It's always good to hear from our fans. We love it. So.
Outstanding.
We do. All right. So next week we'll be back. Adam, I think, will join us next week.
Okay.
It's Blu-ray time again. Speaking about bad movies.
It's true. But
that's where I get all my suggestions from, the Adam shows. I get my taco movie show.